Cage Religion Radio can be found exclusively on CageReligion.com. Cage Religion, where MMA is gospel. Also, Facebook.com/CageReligion, as well as Twitter @CageReligion. At this time, we're joined by One Fighting Championship CEO, the boss man himself, Mr. Victor Cui. Mr. Cui, we know you're a very busy man, so we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to speak with us here at Cage Religion Radio.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for making the time for me.
Now, getting started, how long had the ball been in motion in terms of launching ONE FC? Because it seemingly came out of nowhere last September, but given your history in the combat sports realm, I'm sure that's not the case.
No. I mean, you can't build something this big overnight. It's been brewing for a while, and as you know, my background is extensive in sports media in Asia. I've been working in sports and television and media for probably over 15 years, and in the last 6.5 years of that, I was with ESPN Star Sports out here in Asia. So I've been looking at the landscape for a while, and watching MMA explode everywhere else in the world, and wondering why is nobody doing it out here in Asia yet? What's going on? And put those building blocks in places, and then launched ONE FC.
Now, when you look back at the landscape of the Asian market over the last few years, and kind of some of the promotions that have faltered, most notably Pride and K1, in your opinion, where do you feel things went wrong for them, and what has that kind of taught you going forward with ONE FC?
I don't think I can speak to their business model well enough, other than my own and personal opinion on it and analysis. I mean, those are great organizations, some of the best fighters in the world, and they were largely focused on Japan. ONE FC is a regional property focused on Asia, and our television platform is the largest TV broadcast for MMA in all of Asia. We're reaching over 500 million viewers, 28 countries. Our deal is with Star Sports and ESPN. And it basically puts ONE FC on television in households almost for the entire year. You probably read a few months ago we announced a 10-year television deal with ESPN and Star Sports. And in broadcast terms, 10 years is pretty well forever. There's no other sport that has a 10-year TV deal, not even football, tennis, basketball, baseball, ping pong, whatever. Out here in Asia, no one's got a 10-year deal. And it really sets a very good long horizon for us of planning, both with our events, our sponsors, our venues. We're booking venues for the next 5 years already.
Now, with that said, are there any further plans to broadcast some of the ONE FC events live here in America?
Yeah, well, outside of Asia, we're looking to do a live broadcast in North America very soon. I mean, one of the challenges is actually just the time zones. We show our events here and we showcase it for the Asian audience, and our event is on at 8 p.m. in Singapore, for example, or 8 p.m. in Southeast Asia, and which is 8 a.m. in New York and 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. on the West Coast. So it really it poses just a challenge in our viewership. But we are working on and we're going to be announcing very soon a live pay-per-view broadcast, and then with our partners there in the States. But in Asia, our focus is on making sure that we continue to deliver this world-class content to our viewers. We're live streaming online. The broadcast to go live on ESPN Star Sports will happen soon. We're working on that.
Now, ONE FC recently held the first ever Asian MMA Summit, a sort of collective gathering of all the key players in the Asian combat sports realm. Talk a bit about some of the key developments that came out of last week's summit.
Well, this is a topic I love talking about. I love the sport. I love my friends. I love my colleagues in it. It fills me with a lot of energy when I get in the same room with everybody that loves the sport. You feel that much positive energy of trying to develop things in the right way. And it was a really big challenge to bring some 200 plus people. Every single industry leader in Asia was there. Every major event, every major promoter, every major gym owner, we had sponsors and partners and equipment manufacturers. Just everybody was there in Asia, and it was a really good start for us to talk about the building the foundation that we need to really exponentially grow this sport. And it's a different way, I mean, a different approach, because typically I know you see in our industry promoters going head to head and not really collaborating. But in Asia, you know, every single one of the other promoters are basically friends of mine that we've talked to on a regular basis. So this was an opportunity for us to figure out, okay, how do we match our schedules? How do we make sure that safety is the highest priority? How do we jointly approach sponsors? How do we support fighters in what they're doing in their training or an amateur circuit or additional competition opportunities? And just really have a face-to-face on all of that. For a lot of the people there, I mean, that would be the first time that they had met each other. Most of those relationships were direct relationships with me that I've had over the last 3-5 years or so. And so it was a good networking opportunity for the industry as well.
Now, moving forward, I'm curious as to how ONE FC will handle crowning its first champions. Will there be a tournament format or just single bouts to determine the vacant championship spots?
Yeah, you know, I'm not in a rush for that. We will eventually be crowning a world champion, but right now our talent roster is so deep, and most of these guys have dozens of belts themselves already, you know, of they're either already a world champion in something, and for the first time they're actually getting to compete with other top athletes at the highest level. So I'm focusing on entertaining fights right now that fans want to see. I'm focusing on getting great opportunities for fighters, and down the road, when it starts to make sense, we will decide how we want to move into a world championship belt.
Now I want to change gears here for a second. There's been a lot of talk about Dream Bantamweight champ Bibiano Fernandes in recent days, and you know the UFC came out and said that he had signed with them when compete at July's UFC 149. Although days later there were published reports saying that he hadn't actually signed with the UFC and was considering a more lucrative contract with ONE FC. Where do things currently stand between Bibiano and ONE FC?
Yeah, that's interesting forum discussion, because that was all news to me. So I look forward to talking to Bibiano if he wants to talk. But that was all new information to me, seeing that online and on his Facebook.
With that said, are there any free agents that ONE FC currently has their eye on?
I'm looking all the time. You know, I think we're at an interesting point right now in that all the top fighters in Asia want to be on ONE FC right now, you know, because it's the biggest platform for them. Not only if you're a signed ONE FC fighter, not only do you get to compete on ONE FC events, but now you have access to the entire ONE FC network, which means we can give a fighter, you know, almost, I think by our last count, it was something like 160 fight opportunities or 160 events a year or something like that that they have access to through all of our partners in the ONE FC network. So they could fight in Australia or New Zealand or Philippines or Korea and have access to that. So that's a really great opportunity for a fighter and their career to get some cage time. So we're in a lucky position now where I'm looking at talented fighters all around the world, and people really want to be on a ONE FC card. But I'm always looking for great fighters, so I'm open to any recommendations you have.
Oh, absolutely. There's a ton of talent out there, and you know, the next few ideas that cross my desk, I'll be sure to forward your way. But moving on here, the next ONE FC event takes place on June 23rd. That's ONE FC Destiny of Warriors. That takes place in Malaysia. Top to bottom, this may be the most stacked event to date that you guys have put on. You know, Renato Bablu Sobral versus Tatsuya Mizuno, that headlines the card. Masakazu Imanari versus Leandro Issa, that's the co-headliner. Talk a bit about the event and where fans in America will be able to watch it.
Well, I mean, this is an exciting card. You're right. I think every time we try and do a card, I try and kick it up another notch and give something that local fans will really appreciate and Asian fans will appreciate, but also our global audience that is, watching our event everywhere. You can catch the live streaming on our website at onefc.com. That's onefc.com. And the first 4 fights will be broadcast for free on our website or on our Facebook page. And then the last 6 fights of the night are available for $9.99 US on live streaming pay-per-view, also on onefc.com.
Now, before we get going, Mr. Kui, is there anything perhaps that maybe we didn't touch on that you want to let the fans and listeners know about that ONE FC is coming up in the future?
I just really appreciate the support of all the fans in the community and the fighters and agents and everyone else that have been reaching out to us. I apologize if I haven't gotten back to you. I probably get about, I think 200 emails on my Facebook a day right now, and it's just become impossible to keep up with it. And the media support, I appreciate this radio interview, has been really overwhelming at how positive people are about the sport in Asia, the things that we did with the summit, and how optimistic people are for the future of where we're going and where the sport is growing. So just tune into our live stream and catch the event. Don't miss it.
Again, that's ONE FC Destiny of Warriors on June 23rd. Wrapping up, Victor, we just want to thank you once again for taking the time to speak with us here at Cage Religion Radio. We're looking forward to June 23rd.
Thank you.